What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Not the Right podcast. I'm Nick, your friendly, frustrated political commentator, and once again, I am graced with the privilege of hosting with the amazing Natasha.
Thank you, Nick. You are far too kind. Hello, I'm Natasha, your co-host, ready to dive into another heavy topic. Today, we've got a lot to talk about, and it's not pretty. Right. We're covering a terrifying incident that just happened in Arizona. Someone took a shot at one of Kamala Harris's campaign offices. No way. The vice president's campaign office was literally shot at. It's a good thing that no one was hurt. Oh my God. This is another escalation in a trend we've seen. Political violence is on the rise. And surprise, surprise, it's mostly coming from the right.
It's scary, but it's real. And if we're being honest, it feels like the political right has taken up the mantle of insurrectionists and would-be assassins. We're seeing more of these violent acts targeted at politicians, and it's largely fueled by extreme rhetoric and a complete refusal to do anything about gun violence.
Exactly. And we've got to talk about how this all ties into the bigger picture, the rise in political violence, especially from right-wing extremists, and how it's all being allowed to happen because our country refuses to pass any comprehensive gun laws.
Yeah, so let's connect the dots here. I mean, look at the two attempted assassinations on Donald Trump. And here's the kicker. Both of the gunmen were Republicans. These were guys who had voted for Trump.
That's what's so wild. They were part of his weird cult-like base. And it just shows how deeply broken and polarized we are as a country right now. The political climate is so extreme that people are willing to turn on their own cult leader. The rhetoric, the fear-mongering, and the conspiracy theories are driving people to not just political violence, but racial violence as well.
Facts. But here's the thing, this isn't happening in a vacuum. It's happening because of the constant messaging that guns are the solution to everything. And you know who's blocking any real gun reform? Republicans and the gun lobby. They've got the NRA's money in their pockets, and they refuse to even entertain the idea of sensible gun control.
That's right. The Republicans, led by the gun lobby, have made it impossible to pass laws that would keep guns out of the hands of dangerous people. Universal background checks? Blocked. Assault weapons ban? Blocked. Red flag laws? You guessed it. Blocked. The gun lobby has such a stranglehold on these politicians, they'd rather let campaign offices or the American people get shot up than do something about it.
And the thing is, they keep telling us that more guns make us safer. But we're seeing the opposite happen. We've got politicians, including the Vice President of the United States, being targeted. How many more near assassinations do we need before they wake up?
It's a vicious and deadly cycle. People are radicalized by extreme right-wing rhetoric. They can easily access high-powered weapons, and then violence follows. And what's worse is that no one in power is doing anything to stop it. I'm guessing that it's the money that is stopping them.
Right. And while Republicans are busy blocking any meaningful gun legislation, they're also fueling the rhetoric that encourages this violence. From January 6th to incidents like this, it's becoming clear that political violence is becoming their weapon of choice.
And the thing is, we've seen where this leads. It leads to people storming the Capitol, to people trying to kill political figures, former VP Mike Pence, that they disagree with. And if we don't address the underlying issues, namely the lack of gun control, it's only going to get worse.
Yeah. And let's talk about the hypocrisy here. They'll claim to be the party of law and order, but when it comes to enforcing common sense gun laws, it's all about freedom and rights. But what about the right of people to live without the fear of being shot for their political beliefs?
That's the question, isn't it? And when you've got people willing to shoot at politicians, whether it's Kamala Harris or Donald Trump, it's not about one party anymore. This is a systemic issue. The lack of gun laws, the gun lobby's influence, and the radicalization of certain parts of the population are driving this violence.
And the sad truth is, it's not going to stop until we get serious about gun control. Republicans and the gun lobby have made it so easy to get guns. And that's why we're seeing this level of violence. It's literally killing our democracy.
And here we are, talking about it again, with no real solutions on the horizon. The cycle continues. More violence, more thoughts and prayers, more gridlock in Washington. Meanwhile, people are being shot at for simply running for office. It's outrageous.
And we're going to keep seeing this unless there's a fundamental shift in how we deal with guns. The gun lobby has to lose its grip, and politicians need to stop fearing the NRA more than they fear the consequences of inaction. We need universal background checks, an assault weapons ban, red flag laws, and accountability for politicians who promote violence with their words.
Absolutely. This isn't just about gun rights anymore. It's about the survival of our democracy. If we can't even have a peaceful political process without the threat of violence, we're in serious trouble.
Agreed. So if you're listening out there, don't get numb to this. Don't just accept that political violence is part of the landscape now. Demand better. Call your representatives. Vote for politicians who actually support real gun reform and push back against this madness. Because if we don't, the shots won't stop.
Couldn't have said it better. That's all the time we have for today, but we'll keep coming back to this topic because it's not going away. Thanks for joining us on Not the Right Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe, leave us a comment, and let us know your thoughts on what's going on. Gradhaish du Marsinle.
Stay safe out there, folks. Keep fighting the good fight, and we'll catch you next time.